And the winner is... Friends!
Frasier.
Seinfeld.
The 90s was the golden age of comedy TV, with shows like Seinfeld, Frasier, and Friends all reaching their peaks. Even though they're over 20 years old, these shows are still shaping today's pop culture. Seinfeld was one of the first comedies to break the multicam model, and it introduced the idea of anti-heroes as main characters, paving the way for shows like It's Always Sunny and even The Sopranos and Breaking Bad. Friends popularized the term friend zone and was one of the first comedies centered around young adults.
Because you waited too long to make your move, and now you're in the friend zone. Ross, you're mayor of the zone.
Before that, Hollywood pretty much only recognized 16-year-olds and 40-year-olds, and there was no in between. And Frasier? Well, no one seems to be able to put their finger on what made it so great, but it was nominated for 107 Emmys and won an average of 4 per year. Obviously, it was a hit. But these shows couldn't last forever, and neither could the 90s. As we entered the 2000s, though, comedy's golden age continued, this time with the launch of the mockumentary. Starting with The Office in 2005, writer Ashanta Jackson suggests that our love for the mockumentary is due to its absurd realism, saying, "What the form has done well is to challenge viewers with a slightly skewed but somehow all too real vision of a society that looks a lot like our own. That odd mix of this can't be real and I could see this happening is part of why the genre has endured." As Jackson points out, with the mockumentary came the rise of relatable comedy. We can all relate to having a terrible boss like Michael Scott, or family tensions like Modern Family, or workplace crush like Parks and Rec. These shows took our reality and said, hey, it could always be worse. They showed us that we weren't alone in what we were feeling. Of course, there were other huge non-mockumentary comedies at the time too. Community, Scrubs, New Girl, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, 30 Rock, and The Good Place are just a few. But something's happened in the last 5 years. The amount of people going back to watch older, nostalgic sitcoms from their childhoods peaked during 2020, and since then, the production of new sitcoms seems to have dropped. Think about it, what's your favorite sitcom that's aired since 2020? Maybe Bob's Burgers, or It's Always Sunny, or Curb Your Enthusiasm, but none of those are really shows from the 2020s. They're all shows from another era that have miraculously survived to this one, and even they're all coming to an end. Good comedies just don't seem to be getting made anymore. Whether that's because of this new 8 episodes per season norm, or because writers haven't figured out to make comedy for this new post-pandemic era,
Stop pooping.
or something entirely different is beyond me. But whatever the reason is, comedy TV is in trouble, though there is one speck of light in the darkness. Quinta Brunson's Abbott Elementary. Starting in 2021, Abbott is a mockumentary about the teachers at a Philadelphia elementary school. It's full of heart and it brings back the absurd realism we all loved in shows like The Office and Modern Family. In an interview with NPR, Nicole Wyglandowski, an actual Philadelphia teacher, talked about how much she related to the characters and how cathartic the show is for her, saying, "I can't believe they're actually talking about this on TV, and I have to laugh because if you don't laugh, you will cry." Sam Crittenden, a 3rd grade teacher, seems to agree with that sentiment, saying, "I don't want the drama. I could go to work for that." So maybe Abbott Elementary is a sign for the revival of mockumentaries, or maybe for a less absurd, slightly more grounded realism. Whatever it means though, something needs to change before we lose comedy TV completely. But what do you think? Is comedy TV dying? And if so, what was the last great comedy show? Do you think Abbott Elementary can breathe new life into the art? Let me know in the comments.
Use this surge of fear and adrenaline to sharpen your decision making.